welcome back to Fodder and Football. We've got another preview and we've got special guest Yeambele. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. I'm not a special guest anymore, am
you
I?
So you'll always be a special guest here.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. No, lovely to be on. I really do appreciate any time I can have a chat with you, my friend.
Yeah, like once a month is a bit odd, isn't it? Because it's like we always have so much to catch up on before we even like start doing the content. It's always like, oh, you know, what have you been up to? How's the family and stuff? Do you know what? I was going to ask you this. If I do a snack check with you, is that like, I don't know, is that like
that's trademark infringement? That's trademark infringement, and I'm not prepared this evening because you know before you kindly reminded me, because obviously I've got so much in my head. I was snarfing down a packet of those. I don't know if you've seen it. Those buffalo wing flavored peanuts from Marks and Spencer.
Oh,
as soon as you called, I was like, oh my God, I got to finish them. So I like literally down to half of them. And I have a bit of a weird thing. So when I snack a lot of peanuts, I get a bit of a headache afterwards. I don't know why, but I do.
How fast are you eating these peanuts?
Oh, I was eating them super fast because I was like, man, I can't really go on with like eating peanuts like all the time. Yeah. And then I had a lolly that I stole from my daughter's like sweet collection that I was like,
Halloween goodies.
Yes,
everywhere. We've got them, and we've just had a child's birthday party as well. So there's like
you've got loads of sugar.
Yeah, party bags everywhere. Oh, yes. Yeah, my diet right now is pretty poorly.
I haven't been to a party yet where they're not giving sugar out. I'm waiting for the woke one where I go to a woke.
No. We're all about sugar and
my daughter is literally going to have the most horrific look on her face when she gets the woke one. It's like, what was that? Oh my, that's hilarious.
It's not a bag of peanuts, is it?
No, it's my headphones. I've got a spare pair of I've got like headphones. That was interesting. It just literally fell. It's all happening today. Sorry about that, mate.
It is all happening today because before we even kind of get into predictions and what we know about Slavia Prague, because you know we're both experts, obviously. There has been some bad news. Victor Gyökeres looking like he's going to miss the game. How are you feeling about that? Because how did you feel generally about the Gyökeres signing? Because I know like Faisal was very pro Gyökeres. I was kind of not on the fence. I don't want to say that, but I didn't mind either way. I could see the pluses of both. Like, how did you feel about the signing, and how are you feeling now that he's seemingly going to be injured and missing some games?
Look, I made no secret of I wanted Benjamin Šeško as my striker. There was no, I don't, sit on the fence about that one. But if you look at the finances and the agent chicanery that was going on with that, there was. It was not a go. I was not prepared to push the boat out for Šeško. If he was a top elite striker, I'm talking about the Mbappes, Haalands, etc. There's only two of them at the moment. Kane is just a level below that slight, even though he's doing phenomenally well. He's doing phenomenally well, and he is a good striker. Even though he played for Tottenham, look, you have to recognise game. But if I'm talking about youth and longevity and who do I want in my striker, you would say your first choice. Actually, sorry, there's three. Isak when he's fit and firing, Haaland and Mbappe, the three strikers. We were never going to get any of those three, even though Isak was technically available, but the finances involved were ridiculous. We can talk to the cows come home about the finances and where we went. But were we prepared to pay 100 million for a striker who A, is unproven in the Premier League, B, is asking for an exorbitant wage? He's on about 300k a week, apparently, at United. Agent's fees around 20 million. His agent clearly was influencing a lot of stuff, and it sounded like a bit of a problem because Andrea Berta, you have to respect him what he's done. He has said, I'm not here to play games. If you want to play games with me on the agent front, then I'm not having it. I've got other places to go, which is why he does this kind of multitasking. And although I wasn't a fan of Gyökeres, what I respected was the effort he put in to join Arsenal. Now, I'm not a fan again of the whole sitting out and angering your club saying I won't play again, but it is what it is. He made the effort to come to Arsenal. He waived fees. He did all of this, which is unheard of for a player for us coming to Arsenal. So the dedication was there. So, yeah, look, I wanted Česko, but the effort put in by Gyökeres and the price tag means that we got a player who is of good quality and is showing that now. We can go into that but again, it's for the finances and what we needed to do, he was the chosen one, and I respect that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, personally, I wanted Osimhen, and there's a clear problem with that deal because no one's gone for that deal. And I think in world football, he's probably on that level below. No, he's not quite proven it on like a huge league. Like Serie A is not the same as when I was growing up. It's not that, not like when we had Shevchenko and Batistuta and they're up against like a Maldini or, whoever it may be, Cannavaro and Nesta.
He's a very talented player, but again, his problem is his attitude and the agent and those
the wages.
The wages. I mean, if you're worth it, like Chelsea looked at him, but Chelsea didn't even go near him when he became available. Only Galatasaray and Saudi wanted him. Why? Because there's external factors. And look, if you're a big club, you will not go near these kind of things. Big clubs want the option that's going to bring the most benefit to them.
Yep.
Now, you may score goals, but if you bring that kind of baggage with you, I doubt clubs are going to be particularly happy because it just means that you're going to be out within a year, and then financially that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, 100%. So just thinking about Gyökeres, I know just before we kind of went on, you were saying about the impact of the signing, I guess, itself, and then the impact of this injury. Like, can you just quickly go for it? Because obviously that was just between us. Let the people know. Yeah.
Look, when he joined, I think everyone was expecting, we're going to get a goal machine, 59 goals in the Primeira Divisão last season. Most people who are in the know can say, look, when you come from the Portuguese league to the Premier League, there is a marked difference. Even though he's played in English football, he has not been in the Premier League level. He played for Coventry, and it was a different time. So I personally didn't expect him to get like a raft of goals. But what I didn't expect either was the work rate he puts in. He is a machine. His pressing is impressive, and he's getting better at the style of press. When I say the style of press, is that you could be a headless chicken, and he's slightly a headless chicken at the moment in that he will just run towards the goalkeeper to try and press him out. Whereas Martin Odegaard is much more cerebral in his pressing, and he will press. He will look at them. He will decide when to press. Gyökeres is learning that because I think it's getting better. You can see he's now starting to drop off the press. It's not immediate, but he's allowing Eze to move forward, and he comes back. So I think he's learning every game, and that's the thing, that every game I see him, he looks better and better. And the Burnley game, I thought was his best game overall. Not only did he get a goal from a scrappy, corner, which I love. I don't care if he got it as, if it was a banger. I prefer, actually, if he scored every goal like he did on the weekend, that's great for me because those are the goals that we don't get. But what I think we all admire is the work rate he put in, the passing, the touches, the moves to get people up the field, the space he creates as well. He occupies defenders in a way that we haven't had for a long time. Even Havertz doesn't do that. Havertz is a false nine. And, it's a real disappointment his injury has come where it has, because I think he was just about to hit top four. He had a rest for the first time. He'd not played in midweek in the Carabao Cup, and it's a massive blow if he's out for a period. We don't know the true extent. Mikel has said this evening that it's a muscular injury and they're looking at scans. Scans mean usually that's not great because that means there's something else. If it's a tear, then he's out for a good month and a half. Again, we don't need this problem now because, again, we're back to Merino up front. And look, Mikel Merino did a fine job last year and he's a good player. But the difference with Victor Gyökeres is marked because he stretches defences. He allows Saka to not be doubled up, to have the freedom. And yeah, it's just come at a really bad time. Obviously, we've only got one more game until the international. So if we can get him back before, but the games after the internationals, you're talking really important games. The Tottenham game, the Chelsea game, the Bayern Munich game. We cannot afford to have...
I didn't even think about that game, yeah.
You cannot afford to have a player of that quality and who occupies defenders and is, that focal point, because he's a focal point. That's the difference again between him and Havertz. Havertz is a really good player. Love him to death. Such a clever player, but he's not a focal point like Gyökeres is. He will, he's so strong when he's playing up against defenders. He will occupy them. They're worried about him, and that's what creates the space. So yeah, really disappointing. I hope it's not. I hope it's sandbagging, but it doesn't feel like it, like the Saliba one. But we need him back, and we need him back sooner rather than later. So maybe it's a chance during the international break, 2 weeks, that he's not allowed to play. He gets that rest, but Sunderland as well. I was watching Sunderland just before we came on air. We really could have used him there as well, because Marino, we'll talk about this in another podcast, is up front. I just don't think he's got the same kind of thing, because he's not the same player, is he? He's not designed as a striker.
Nowhere near.
No, so
we're so lucky in terms of the squad that we at least have yet another player that can go in, because to lose Havertz, Jesus, now Gyökeres, like there's not many teams that can go to like a fourth choice player. And in fact, like really by trade, he is a midfielder, and put them up top and think, well, he could still do a job. It's not the perfect situation, but like it's just the Arsenal curse at the moment, isn't it? We've seen it so many years, decades even. Growing up, I remember going, another player's down. There's the Diabys, the Wilshires, Ramsey's out. Then it went through to like a Rosicky or Santi. Do you remember, I think Santi had a graft on his leg, didn't he, at one point? And
he was out for a year and a half, wasn't he?
And all these players, you just think,
but Arsenal typically, on the field, some of those injuries have obviously been through tough tackles, and Arsenal typically attract really tough tackles because we play more of a technical game, and now certainly we are more intricate, and teams are packing defenses to try and beat us. This one, I feel, is more about. There've been a lot more muscular injuries this season, and torn hamstrings has been a recurrent theme in the last couple. So you do have to think about the training schedule. Are we playing such an intense schedule, and Mikel's training, regime maybe is too much for the players, that it's leading to the red zone? No one can say, because obviously this should have been done. If this should have been looked at in pre-season, in terms of you've had ACLs, you've had MCLs, you've had torn hamstring. Should we look at easing off a little bit? But that's up to Mikel and the medical staff. But it's really tragic, because we're on a very good run. You hope something like this does not derail it, given that we bought really well to try and mitigate this, and then injuries have just literally cursed us.
Yeah. I mean, let's go through our history of Slavia Prague. Let's start there. Let's try to change up the topic a bit, because I'm feeling a bit depressed, Yen. So, I mean, everything we need to know about Slavia Prague, we know this, but, because we're experts in this. So, everything you need to know. So, Slavia Prague, founded in 1892, would enjoy a quarter of a century of dominance under the management of Scott. And who is that manager? Come on, you know him, Yem.
I know him very well. Scott Madden. What a manager he was. I know him very well, and you didn't tell me this at all, and I didn't look up anything at all on Wikipedia or anything like that. I know all of this from my insane ball knowledge of the Czech league.
I mean, they have got heritage, to be fair to them. So they won 12 of the first 19 Czech titles, which is absolutely bonkers. And then in the 1960s, kind of fell away. But players that we probably know will be Karol Poborski. Do you remember him? Karol Poborski ended up at United.
What a hairdo that man had. That he would have been in a L'Oreal Vive advert now if he had the chance.
He would be. I'd quite liked him. I mean, more for Czech Republic rather than for United. But
I think he was one of the. There are players who make their career based off a tournament. They get their big move.
They'll have youth.
Yeah, it was those kind of players. Karol Poborski definitely was, because of the Euro 96 goal. That made his career effective, because I don't think he was like anything special for United, but still a very iconic player that you will remember. But yeah, it's not exactly like he was a world beater.
And I think that's the thing. Like when we're we're discussing about Gyökeres. The one shining light is that if Karol Poborski is probably like the person that you're hanging your hat out and going, he's the big name player that we had. I think, this match for them, I hate the term free hit, but it does feel like that for them. Like it's a big occasion for them, us coming to Prague, and they get to see.
You say that
now some of these big players.
You say that, but their results have been terrible in the Champions League. If you look at it, they lost to Young Boys, I think, in the first game. They've not had a great, if I look at their results. So they lost to Inter as well. I think they need to win if they're going to get themselves up the table. So if I have a look at it, sorry.
I mean, they lost. They had a 2-0 advantage against Bodo Glimt, didn't they, at home, and then ended up drawing it 2-2, didn't they? And then Inter 3-0.
3-0. They drew with Atalanta. So they need to start getting some wins. They're at home. I think this is their second home game. Big atmosphere, obviously, because it's Arsenal, big team. Thomas Rosicky kind of got that kind of fan base within the Czech Republic, because obviously he's a legend. One of my favourite players ever. He was just such a good player. It's just a shame his injuries ruined his career with us. But again, they need results to make their way up the table. So I don't think this is a free hit as we assume. I think it's going to be a tough game, because Champions League, it always is a tough game. But defensively, depending on who plays, we should have enough. We should be really, really up for it. And again, I expect us to win, but I don't expect it to be easy.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, to be fair, I remember us having that absolute thumping. It's 7-0, wasn't it, in 2007, 2008?
Thierry Henry was on form that day, and it was.
We've had some big wins against them. I know we played them. Must have been 2021 in the quarterfinals, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we've met them a few times. I think we should be expecting to beat them. I mean, that's no secret really. But let's kind of go through the team then. Let's have a little think. How would you say? Are you one of these people that would say not too many changes? You don't want to, completely. We've already got Gyökeres kind of leaving that matchday squad, which is going to make a huge difference in terms of like the way that we attack this game, the way that we press. We've been moving to a lot more counter pressing as well recently, which has been really exciting. And then suddenly, okay, another system change. So do you think, do you go like wholesale changes for this, ready for Sunderland? Or do you think actually for this, we've got the international break coming up. Let's just play similar team as usual. Let us go for it. Like David Raya in goal?
It has to be, because Kepa's out. He missed the training session. So apparently if you missed the training session today, then that's how you are on the flight. So Kepa's not there even. Right
back. You putting Ben White in, or just deep Ben timber?
No, I think Ben White needs to get more game time, because he looked better at the longer that the Brighton game went on, he looked better and better. And I think you need to give him game time, because without that, he still looks a little off. There's some ring rust there, and you need a bit fit Ben White, because look, Jurrien Timber has been insane in the last in this period. But again, how far are you willing to push him, especially with the games that are coming? We've got a critical month coming after the international break, so you need to make sure that you're rested. So for me, Ben White should start this game. I don't see any detriment to starting him. Yeah,
I completely agree. I think he was pretty good against Brighton, and then I mean, in true Jurrien Timber fashion, he comes on, and then that breakaway, that drive up the pitch, and Ben White must have just sat there on the stands, just going, "What do I do?"
No, but the thing
is, I get back into this level?
No, but Ben White, a fit Ben White, is near to Jurrien Timber. I think Jurrien Timber is the best right back in the league.
So much. Just the cross-field passes, the ability on the overlap. Like he's got, like some players just have that unwritten understanding of others. They just, it's almost like a symbiotic thing where they just completely read. Like Dani Alves, Messi. I'm not saying we're on that level, but those players are just understand where someone else is going to be at all times. And I think Ben White has that with Bukayo Saka. He just knows where he's going to be a lot of the time. And it's huge. If we can have him fit in the squad, it's going to be massive for the season.
Remember as well, he can play at right centre back as well, although we have more depth there. But you don't want to, a fit Ben White is an asset to any squad, and you want to get him fit. He's struggled because obviously he played on one leg pretty much while Jurgen Timber had the ACL. So we need him back, and he deserves that. I can't believe there's talk of him, we need to get rid of him. Yes, look, there are questions, and if he can't get back to a level, then yes, you have to entertain the question. But give him the chance to get back to the level. He's been a warrior for us, so yeah. I think he starts tomorrow.
Centre backs, Gabriel, Saliba. Do you drop one? Do you drop both out and just let him have a rest and play Mosquera and Hincapié?
This is where it gets interesting because, and we'll come to the midfield in a second, but I think one of the two primaries will start, and I think it will be Gabriel. Just because, and my formation will tell you in a minute. But Mosquera starts because Mosquera, I think, is ready for this game. He's a physical defender. He's looked so good. 13 million is an absolute steal for a player who can come in and replace Saliba and not look out of place. When you pay 13 million for a player, generally, we've talked about this numerous times. You pay 30 million for a player, you think, okay, that's all right, but there's definitely going to be a drop off, isn't there? That's not the case. This is a masterclass in terms of getting a player who looks a beast, an absolute beast. And, if you pair him with Gabriel, then I think you've got that settled back too, because, Mosquera works well with Gabriel. I think Gabriel is he's the best defender in the world at the moment, I think, on form.
Yeah, I completely agree.
If you look at everything, defending, attacking numbers, it's Wayne put it. So Wayne, who did we co-hosted with on one of the Red Lines Half Spaces podcasts, put him as like a Sergio Ramos type player at the moment. Not with the same trophies, but he's almost in that kind of level, attacking wise, defending wise, really has got that aura about him at the moment. Because even at the weekend against Burnley, you saw that, he was heading balls away. He was the focal point.
Another assist.
Again, you can rattle it off. He's gone from being a very good defender to being one of the best defenders in the world. And if he continues the form, then I think he'll be a shout for the Player of the Year, which is incredible for a player who a couple of years ago we said was too rash.
Nice. Wouldn't that be nice? I'd love that. Not an attacking player, and to be fair to him, it was quite a big move at the point where he moved to Arsenal. That's a big decision because we were not where we are now. A lot of these other players that have come in have kind of bought into what they had seen after he arrived. And the development he's had has been unbelievable. When he first came in, I never felt as assured as I do, nowhere near as assured. But he's come on in every single facet of the game, whether it's his ability to understand when to jump into tackles and when to stand off, his heading, his ability now at attacking, stepping into midfield and playing balls between the lines. Like, that's something that wasn't even a part of his game. And he's a true leader. He really is.
Yeah.
I love his attitude.
Yeah. I again, we talk about the rash player who arrived from Lille all those years ago to now being one of the best centre-backs. He's a true example of, you apply yourself, you push on. Mikel has done wonders with him. Look, it's very apparent that Mikel has worked with him. But also, it's his own drive to become one of the best, and he is one of the best. So, look, I think pairing him with Mosquera makes sense. And then I think Hincapié will start left back because, again, left back is... And the reason I start Hincapié left back is because of my midfield choice. Hincapié left back is not a detriment. You're talking about a player out wide who can play that very well. And left back and right back are not as detrimental as if you were the centre backs. Not to say Hincapié is a detriment, because against Brighton, I don't think he did anything wrong either. But I just think if you have so much destabilisation with Mosquera and Hincapié starting against Sparta Prague, then it's not the most ideal situation. Not to say it's not a bad thing, and it could be that Hincapié and Mosquera start. It's perfectly logical because they've done it. But I think left back is probably where he'll start.
I want him to get minutes. I really want him to get minutes. I'm excited about the prospect of him being like a more available part of the squad. It's such a shame we haven't seen more of him yet. But I think Miles will start. Arteta's kind of angled towards him most of the time for Champions League. And the combination with Martinelli, who I think will probably start out on the left if I was a betting man.
He's not fit. He's not fit.
Oh, is he not fit as well? He's still not fit. Oh, my word.
He's out.
Okay,
he's out to the international.
That changes it then. In that case, I think, Hincapié out on the left. So I presume Trossard will be out on the left as well. With Trossard tucking in a little bit more, then it gives you the opportunity to have someone more dynamic. And Miles, I love Miles, but he's not that way inclined, if that makes sense. And I think you're keeping that dynamic. Hincapié is more of a, I was going to say like for Calafiori, but when you've got like a false three, as I'm going to
false three, I like that because you have no. I said it. I have no clue what he is, honestly.
So like, I was going to say, more like for like, but he is more that. He's more likely to go on the overlap Hincapié and keep width than Miles is. I think Miles will tuck into midfield, but to be honest, the one good thing is like the embarrassment of riches we have in defence now, where Mikel can play any of these players, and I don't think anyone's going to really have a heart attack and go, no, you shouldn't be doing that. We'll all just kind of go, not my choice, but fine.
They need minutes. All of them need minutes because you don't want to have this situation now where what we're having, the injuries come in, and we're stuck short. They've had minutes at least, so we at least will have that kind of option to rotate the squad. So we don't know. Obviously we're thinking that along those lines of what we just said, but he could go a completely different way. He could play MLS at left back. That's entirely possible. So it's options, and that's what you want in your when you rotate. It's a shame we don't have many options up front, which is what we'll talk about in a minute, but that's a different story.
Choice. Okay. Midfield. Now this is the problem, isn't it? Because we've got suspensions, we've got one more yellow, which could result in another suspension. So at the base, Norgard?
Yeah, well, actually, so this is where it gets interesting. I think, Norgard will start at the base.
Mm-hmm.
I think we don't risk Rice because the Bayern Munich game is next and he's on a suspension, he's on a yellow. It's too risky, and they should have done what Zubamendi did and got a yellow in the last game. Come on.
Tactical yellow.
Come on, Declan, we love you, but come on. Cerebralness. Zubamendi did it straight away. He knew he was doing,
We know Rodri would have done it, don't we? He's like a prime example of someone that
No,
would
Rice
have done
tried,
that.
but the referee wasn't giving it, which is unusual. But I actually think Miles will start in the Declan Rice position.
I like that.
Yeah, because I think Arteta sees him long term as an 8 almost, because he's got that he's got that ability to just bully past players and drop a shoulder and get past them. And I think tomorrow's game, we
got Martinelli's goal, didn't we?
Yeah,
that drive through,
and I think he more and more feels like, to me, like a number 8 in his long term future, because he's great. He's very good as a left back, but I think you're wasting him if you don't play him in the midfield at some point. And I think Arteta sees him as that. And I think for that kind of Declan Rice drive a run, he's perfect for it. So I think he'll start in the midfield, and then I think Ethan Nwaneri will actually start in the creative role, because
that's a big change in the midfield. Okay, yeah,
it is, but it's not detrimental. I think it's a good midfield.
I like it.
I think Ethan did really well when he came on against Burnley, and he did well in the Brighton game eventually, in the second half. First half, I thought he was really rusty, but in the second half, I thought he did really well. And obviously, against Burnley, he looked very good. And I think Eze's had a lot of minutes, and I think, again, he needs to just make sure that players are fit for the next round of games. It's entirely possible Eze will start because he trusts Eze a lot. You can see he plays him pretty much in every game at the moment. But yeah, I just think that midfield has got the dynamism, the solidity enough to provide a good base for us to go and attack.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think Arteta, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts Rice, tells him just to keep us in the game, and then takes him out. If we can get a goal early, then take him out.
If he risks it, every challenge he puts in.
I just know what he's like in terms of wholesale changes. But then this season, to be fair, he's really surprised me. Like in terms of the match against Brighton, and I did a predicted 11. I went right the way through, and I almost got it nailed on. And there were two that obviously I didn't get. One was Max Dowman. That's what I wanted. He was in my 11, but he wasn't in my predicted 11. And then having a noose in. Just
I don't think anyone saw that one.
I just thought I actually said about Dago Jr. I said, is there a possibility that he comes in? I thought that maybe, and then Mikel does go left field and does that. There is an opportunity maybe that he will go. Actually, we don't want anyone suspended. We need players. Ethan needs
minutes because we need him. To be in these games. Obviously, he won't get as many minutes when Ødegaard's back, but he's better in that right 8 than he is out wide now. You can see that because he's more used to the position. Obviously, Max is the default the right winger reserve while Madueke is out. But I think you have to give him the opportunity in the Champions League. He did it against Girona and he looked very good. He got the goal. I think tomorrow's a good opportunity for him to start.
Yep. I like that. The other option we've kind of got in midfield is maybe putting as a left 8 in that Rice role, kind of more akin to him at Crystal Palace. But I know he plays it very differently. But is there another opportunity to play
I think he'll want a solid base.
Who was it we played against? And he tried to play the two of them in midfield.
West Ham. He tried West Ham. He tried it at West Ham, and then Martin Ødegaard went off.
Yeah. There is that idea of having two more kind of dynamic players, two more forward-thinking players. I don't know if it will happen, but
I think away Arteta will go more pragmatic than he will go attacking because he wants a bare minimum to get a draw because he knows these Champions League games against any opposition. He wants the bare minimum a draw without compromising. We're undefeated in the league, conceding 0 goals. I think he wants to continue that. It's a good base.
And then front 3. So we agree Marino up top?
I think it will be, although there is a possibility of Trossard, but I just think Marino will be
the obvious choice, isn't it?
Yeah, which is not ideal because I don't think he did particularly well against Burnley. That's no disrespect to Mikel Marino. He's not a striker, is he? He's not. He's a box crasher. He's not he's a midfielder who goes forward. He's not a central. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a number 6, etc. He's an 8 who roams forward. So it's not ideal, but it is what it is with Gyökeres out. He could play Hammer and Noose again as a left field option, but I can't see him playing in a hostile Czech atmosphere.
That's the problem, isn't it?
It's a difference playing at home in front of your home crowd and then playing away in the Czech Republic with an atmosphere that will probably, for most 17-year-olds would break them almost.
Yeah. Let's go left wing.
Left wing is going to be Trossard. It'll have to be. There's only Trossard. Trossard's the only option, which is not
unless
great.
Eze goes out, but I can't see that in the current climate. I just can't. I can't see him going out.
It's a possibility, but I can't see it either. I think you need some kind of stability to just. Yeah,
I completely agree. And then right wing,
you'll have to
go Saka.
You'll have to start Bukayo Saka, but with the notion that if we can win the game early, then you put Max Dowman in.
I've got to see him in the Champions League.
You will. I think he will come on tomorrow. But the problem is obviously you're talking about a very physical Slavia Prague team. I think Mikel will feel out how Slavia Prague are set up. If they're going full on deep block, physical, etc., he may not risk Dowman because it only takes one injury and then that could ruin a career, especially at 50. You just don't want that.
I would love to see him come on and do, like an AC Milan type thing, win a pen.
I just think it's there are circumstances where he will come on. I think if we're winning and it's comfortable, then yes. But I don't think he'll be as comfortable as that tomorrow, given that Gyökeres is out. I think it's going to be a struggle because we'll be defensively solid. But how much will we create? What are Slavia Prague going to do? Again, these are all unknowns. Slavia Prague are top of their league. They're still a reasonably good side. You have to respect them. They got a draw at Atalanta. Atalanta, we know very well from last season, are a very good side. They're not the same because they've lost players like Reteguias, etc. But you have to pay respect to them and not and understand that they're going to be fighting for it. They want those 3 points as well to help their Champions League campaign. So I think Saka will start, but there is an eye towards probably getting him off as soon as possible.
Yep. No, I'm with you on that. 100%. And I think he'll back captain the side tomorrow.
Yeah. I think he'll captain the side, but it'll be again, how long does he stay on for? We need to look. The ideal scenario in this game is that we can score a few goals. I'm not saying this is going to happen. Score a few goals and shut up shop, and then get players to the bench, because we've got Sunderland, and that's again, you have to pay respect to Sunderland. They're still where they are. I mean, let me have a look at what's going on with them now. They're level now. So Granit Xhaka scored in after 1 minute after half time. So you have to respect what's coming on the weekend, which we know it's going to be a physical game, deep block, etc. We need as many fit players as we can. So if Gyökeres is out, then look, you have to get everyone else fit. And Saka, if we were to lose Saka, for example, that's it. You're talking about a major component that we can't. Mate, look, again, we're all hardened injury specialists now, given we've seen every kind of injury and etc. And so we're not phased by it. It is what it is. But you try and mitigate as much of that as possible. And you've got a deep enough squad to say, look, let's rotate it out tomorrow. But you will have a smattering of first teamers to try and get you through that game.
Yep, 100%. Let's do predictions for the game. Scoreline, yeah?
Going to go with a 2-0. I think we keep clean sheet.
That's what I was going to go with. Can't do the same.
You can.
That's like the current thing, though, isn't it? 2-0. Yeah, we'll take that. I'm going to go 3-0. I just have a feeling that maybe we get an early goal, and then we can get our, obligatory 2 goals after that.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll take a 3-0.
Another clean sheet. Our champion. Another clean sheet. What about look? The more important stat is, will they get a shot on target? Because that's not good enough. We're not, we don't look at now if it's a clean sheet. We look at if they've had a shot on target.
I wonder if there's going to be a manager at some point that says, I don't care, you have to shoot. At just some point, please shoot at their goal. If it's from kickoff, if it's even, I don't care. Just shoot, please. We're going to be the ones that get rid of that record. So, yeah, at some point, it's going to have to.
Is it tomorrow, though? Is it tomorrow? Will they have a shot on target?
It's not tomorrow yet. Not tomorrow.
I think they will get a shot on target tomorrow.
That'll be in the new year.
I think they'll get a shot on target tomorrow. one shot on target.
Don't do that to me. Oh, one shot. Do you know what? I was livid about that Eddie Nketiah shot on target.
Yeah.
But there we go. Where can people find you, mate?
Sorry?
Where can people find you? Tell the people where to subscribe.
You can find me on X at Verge59 as the indicators there. But you can also find me on Red Lines and Half Spaces, the podcast of choice at the moment, if you're the tactical connoisseur. But if you do want to have a listen, we just released our latest episode today as we're recording on Monday with Dan George of the BBC, who is a very good friend of ours. Excellent journo. Please do have a listen if you can.
Mate, the guests you're getting on at the moment are just quality.
We'll get you on at some point as well. That's another quality guest, isn't it?
Well, I've been on.
No, I'm always second time round. Look, it's down into second time round. It's second time round.
Well, to be fair, when you're getting BBC journalists and stuff, you're taking a step down from me. But there we go.
We're not my friend.
Oh, mate, thank you so much for the night. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe to the channel. And there will be the North Bank Monthly, the monthly review between me and Yam going through all things from October. So don't miss that. I will catch you on the next one. Cheers now.